Hi guys, and welcome back. So today's video is going to be a Copic marker illustration, and it's been a really long time since I've done a more refined, completed illustration in markers because over the last while I've been really preferring working in watercolor for the more finished stuff for a lot of reasons, but I decided that I wanted to go ahead and do a nice finished, fully inked, rendered marker illustration today. Like I said, I used to love doing it. I did it all the time. So this was really just really fun to pull it out and focus on trying to get it completed. And it was really good to work on the layering of this because I think when I first was really starting out in Copics, I didn't really layer colors nearly as much. I stuck to very tonal shading, so I'd use the same color, only darker to shade. And there's so much more variety that you can do with Copic markers by layering different types of colors on top of each other. So I do feel like I've grown a lot as far as how I approach color from really the last time that I spent any significant amount of time using my Copic markers. So I think if I were to start taking it up again where I was doing more complete illustrations like this, I think it would go a lot better for me. I'd be able to get more variety out of the colors that I already do have, even though it's fairly limited which ones I have. So I don't know, I might pull it out and do a few more of these small finished illustrations. And I actually tried a new technique in this one, and it was really fun. I'm excited to do more of it. But what I did was I took a can of canned air, so it's just that stuff that you use to like clean out the dust in your computer and stuff. And I wanted to see if I could get a similar technique to the airbrush system that you can get for Copic markers. Basically, it just shoots air at the nib of your marker, and it puts a really fine mist of that ink onto your paper. And I actually am really, really happy with how it turned out. I don't think I quite got the technique on how quite to hold it yet or where to shoot on the nib itself, but I think that I can definitely get the effects that I want out of that. It has this really cool texture to it, and I'm able to layer colors, so you'll still see like the individual dots of the different colors, but all together they'll mesh together and look like one color from farther away. I had a test paper that I made sure that I could kind of get the technique that I wanted, and it just was really cool. It had that look that I wanted. The sad thing though was that the can of air was actually almost empty, so I didn't quite have enough juice left to be able to get the kind of coverage I wanted for the background. So ultimately I had to go over it and color it in by hand anyways, but it's definitely something that I would like to try in the future. I think it'll make doing more finished pieces like this less tedious because I can add this texture to it that I'm really excited about, and I can cover the background a lot easier and quicker and streak free while still having a texture that just looks a lot more intentional. But I actually made a huge mistake while I was working on this piece because I had to get new multi-liners for the ink work on this one because my last pen, all the ink like exploded out of it, so I had to get a new one. And these ones were on sale, and I knew that I wanted them for watercolor paintings. So I made sure to check that it said at least that it was waterproof, and I always check them to make sure they're waterproof anyways. I always check, because even if it says it is, a lot of times you never know. You have to check. But I checked to make sure that it was waterproof when I bought it because I did want it to be for that. But I totally didn't even think about checking it for Copic markers, and for the most part it was pretty okay. It stood up okay for the Copic markers, and usually I'm pretty careful with avoiding the line work anyway, because even if it's Copic proof, if there's just a little bit too much ink there, sometimes it can get picked up and reactivated with the brush. But yeah, this time it kind of smeared a lot. There were areas that I went in and put extra dark line work like under her jaw and stuff, where when I went over it, it streaked into the color, and when that first happened, I thought I was just gonna give up. This piece was done and there's no way to fix it, and I was about to just scan it in and color it digitally and let it be that and just put this piece away. But I decided that I wanted to go ahead and see if I could finish it up. For the most part, I really liked where it was at. I liked the colors, I liked the direction I was taking it, and I'm actually really happy that I stuck to it, because in the end I am really happy with the final result, and the fact that it turned into something that I'm happy with, even though there was that moment where it felt like there was no way to redeem it, is kind of really exciting, and it feels really triumphant to be able to just finish a piece the way that I originally intended, and to fight through those issues that I had as I was working on it. But that is pretty much it for this little piece. I had a lot of fun working on her and doing Copic markers again. She will be up on my shop, and there's a link right below me if you want to check that out and see all the other stuff that I have there. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at my next one.